What's up, guys? Michael Anthony here, and welcome to episode 4 of The Beat on the Street. Today I have some new music for you, as well as some videos and an interview with Woves. In the last episode, I had a great chat with Iyes Keen, who has just released a new track called Woves. Let's check it out.
Time, the stars, they won't align. I'm not made to be easy to breathe.
Again, guys, that was Webs by Iyes Keen, who just released her new track on Spotify. So let me ask you a question. Growing up, who was some of your favorite duet singers? Was it Sonny and Cher? Maybe it was Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes? Right now, let's check out Lemon and Orion of Thought Beings in their new single, The World. Again, that was The World by Thought Beings, which was a really awesome music video with their track. Next up, we have the Future Kids, who just released their second album through Outland Recordings called 80s Dreams. This is one track from their album called Beneath the Stars. Okay, guys, that was another awesome video with a lot of nostalgic 80s vibes in it, which is definitely something that brings back a lot of memories for me. Next up, we have my interview with Emily and Josh of Woves, followed by their music video. Let's check it out. Okay, guys, I want to welcome Emily and Josh of Woves. Guys, thank you for taking the time to be on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So you guys, back in, I believe, October, I remember hearing your first single was 1 a.m. from the album Chaos Mesa. Did I pronounce that right? I hope I did.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what was it like coming up with new music for Woves, and how did you guys form the band?
We formed because we met sort of through like Craigslist when we were both in LA, and I was looking for collaborators to work with because all my musical people were back in New York, and Josh and I met. We realized we lived 5 minutes apart from one another, and we worked on a bunch of other projects together. And then I'll let you run with this second half, Josh. The writing, it's like it sort of came from you.
Yeah. Well, I write a lot for TV and film, and one of the projects I was working on was like a synthwave kind of project. So came up with a bunch of instrumentals with my writing partner at the time, Colby Wade, and used some of them for that project, and then a couple others I was like, oh, we should release these. These are really cool. So send them over to Emily because she can always come up with vocal parts and lyrics pretty quickly, and she connected with the tracks right away and was able to come in pretty soon after that and lay down some vocals. And she sent it to a friend of hers from school, and who ran a record label and was looking to start like a new division of that label for synthwave, or like, I guess, synthy stuff. He was electronic. He was a big fan of Depeche Mode. Oh, okay. And wanted to kind of roll with that and do his own thing. So he asked us to, can you guys get me an album of this? So I think by then we had like 2 or 3 songs. I was like, sure. So over the next couple months, just wrote, pushed out these tracks, and it came kind of naturally. Once I'm on like a project, I kind of have to, I just go until it's done. Like I don't think about anything else really until I get that finished, and that's pretty much where we're at. I've got the tracks out to Emily. She came in and laid down vocals, and I think a couple weeks later, yeah, we had an album. So that's how that came to be.
Cool. That's definitely one of my.
I was going to say, then that label kind of took a pandemic hit, and we were starting to release some of the music on our own, well, through Josh's indie label, which is what we'd kind of put out stuff we'd done together before. And then Cole approached us before 1 a.m., obviously, because we ended up signing with Retro Reverb Records, mm-hmm. and putting 1 a.m. out as the first single with the label. But we had done earlier releases of Release and So Used to Heartbreak and the Christmas single. And then we remixed them for the album that Retro Reverb Records put out.
Oh, wow. That's really cool.
A journey.
Yeah, definitely. And both of you guys have backgrounds in music as well too. I remember from reading the Let's Get to Know, the written interview we did on the website, which was really cool to see. And then Emily, you've also had vocals in other genres of music as well too.
Yeah, like we started releasing singles for Woves at the beginning of 2021, but 2020 was sort of the culmination of a few years of me really in LA's Americana rock scene. And I put out a record in 2020 that was produced by Ted Russell Camp, had some radio and Spotify stuff and everything, but everybody kind of knew me from that world. And then it was like, about face. I mean, people in New York knew me to do electronic stuff. And there's some collaborators I have in the UK that really only know me for that unless they've seen me play live with an acoustic guitar. But yeah, those are sort of like my 2 spaces, or like more organic Americana rock
Hmm.
or electronica. And when I say electronica, it could be anything. Like I've done stuff in house, I've done stuff in trip hop. We have this like synthwave thing. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It to me, it's like it's the same writing process with different dressing. If
Okay.
that makes any sense. You know,
Yeah,
the songs, the way I write a song is the same, whether it's for a guitar as the lead or a synth as the lead. It's just how it's produced. And maybe thematically, lyrically, it might get a little more esoteric, or, you know, because the big thing with like the rock stuff is like, keep it simple, you know, keep it really simple and like, don't get too flowy poetry about it. But this kind of lets me go off and live in a dream for a while, which is kind of fun too.
yeah, definitely. That is cool. I've been a fan of electronic music for probably since the, I want to say mid to late 90s, when it really, in my opinion, when it really blew up around, you know, like the city clubs, Jersey clubs, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's really cool to see it evolve, like so many genres now. It's like crazy. I can't even keep up with all of them.
Well, there was such a movement towards like soundtracks and TV and film and even commercials using so much more of that kind of music, because it really is the next iteration of like the classical composer, you know, when you're dealing with textures and soundtracks. And I'm sure Josh can speak to this because that's what he does. But I see them very, you know, and you think of things made in the 60s and the 70s, there was so much orchestration that was part of the music involved in these film scores or TV scores and TV theme songs, that now so much of that I feel like is in electronic music or
Yeah.
different forms of it. So
Yeah, Josh, I remember reading you. You were working with someone from The Voice at the time we did the interview, the written interview.
Yeah, I was I worked on it's a civil rights documentary. I worked on the music for that. It's called On the Battlefield. And that was November and December, and I wrote a lot of like the background music, and then just different little songs and compositions and stuff. And the big song at the end, they basically wanted a replacement for "Rise Up" by Andra Day, that famous song, and they got this girl, Arya Blue, from The Voice. I think she was doing like a title, you know, like Jay-Z's title. They do these studio recordings and stuff. And at the time she was working with him. So we were trying to get her down from that in a specific time frame. And I'm in LA and they're out, the Battlefield people, they're out in Delaware and New York area. So basically we're trying to like just sync everybody up at the same time. And the track ended up being over because they needed it to fit over like a certain amount of time at the end of the movie. It was like 6.5 minutes, something like that. So in like a day and a half, I wrote this 6.5 minute pop ballad that you know, it's interesting because it's for a civil rights documentary. So it's my voice at first, which she had to, you know, pretty much just like sing those parts, because it's just like, it's like a white guy singing, you know, this like R&B pop ballad kind of thing. And it was really funny. They're like, we really like your voice on it. And I was like, please don't use my voice for this. Because it's like, you know, like a rock voice almost. And I'm just like, please. But thankfully they were able to sync everything up, and Arya came in and took a couple sessions, I think, to get everything down. And yeah, I think they're like pitching the movie right now to the people at like Sundance and however you really go about all that stuff. And then specifically, they're going to submit that song to the Oscars next year. So I got my fingers crossed on that. That'd be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So try to do as many different kinds of genres and stuff just to keep it interesting. You know, it helps clear the air. Like Cole from Retro Reverb wants an EP this year, I think in September or something. So that's pretty much written, but you know, it's good to like do something like that and then do something like, you know, like pop ballads and then do string compositions and stuff like that.
When I
And then
met you, you were doing a lot of hip hop too.
I was doing a lot of
So,
hip hop there. Yeah, there's a lot of hip hop artists out here.
Wow.
So when I moved out here, I started. I'd always been a mainly just songwriter, and I kind of shifted to the production side of things when I moved out to LA 9 years ago. So just kind of building on that, and yeah, had a ton of rappers come in and hip hop artists and stuff. Started writing some hip hop stuff, which was really fun, and I still do occasionally. But yeah, kind of slowing that down and taking some time for myself. I got the baby on the way next month.
Oh, wow.
So
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. So try to finish up these next set of Wove tracks that we have coming out at the end of the year, and yeah, see where everything takes us.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of the things too I noticed was the artwork on your album cover, and just in general, some of like the band pictures as well too. I think you guys were like behind like a flowers, and you had like flower heads or something. I forgot exactly what.
I was gonna wear that mask today. I was gonna show up to the interview with that mask, but I couldn't find it. I was like, "Where is this thing?" That'd be hilarious.
That was a mask, and I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah, we made these masks. My wife like sewed all these flowers onto the masks. They're not real flowers. I think that would be be a gross mask after a while, but
yeah, it's definitely cool artwork for the album cover as well too. I loved it. The band, you know, the album in general, like I listened to it from start to finish. I thought it was great. Really
thank
cool.
you.
Great
thanks.
stuff. Yeah. So you guys mentioned, I know we were talking before, you guys grew up in the Pennsylvania area on the east. It's close to me. And then you guys moved out west, which I'm jealous of. You know, I'd love to be in Cali, but what was it like growing up around Pennsylvania, like around that area?
I think we had very different experiences because Josh comes from probably a bit more close to finger on the pulse urbanity. And if anyone spent any time in southwestern PA, you know that culturally, so it works about 20 years behind the rest of the country. And you know, it's just very remote out there. You found the freaks because there weren't a lot of us, and we all like ended up leaving, and many of us are still in touch, you know, like the art kids and the theater kids. And sometimes there were musicians. Some of the musicians were actors or painters, you know, and I don't know, it inspired me to leave. I mean, I always felt like I was going to leave from a very early age, just because I didn't really connect.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. And,
Yeah,
you know,
same.
you go back, and I talked to one of my buddies last week. He lives up in Portland now, and he was one of my oldest buddies from high school. And I'm always like, you know, you go back there and you see the nature and you see all these things that were like sentimental and almost like romantic places in your mind. And you're like, what about that? Like I could move back to that. But then you get there, and then there's like, you come like head to head with like the people who like were like, you know, like beating the crap out of you or like bullying you or whatever. And you're just like, it doesn't change. It's like, you can't take that one thing and forget everything else. And so just go like, okay, well, a week is probably enough. I'll go back home and to where I have like my tribe and everything. So I don't know. That was my experience.
Yeah, pretty much the same for me. I grew up closer to Philly, about like 35 minutes outside of Philly, Allentown area. And so there were more like clubs and stuff. I mean, basically I left right after high school. I couldn't wait to leave. I actually moved to Penn State with a girl for about a year. And then realized I was like, I got to go to school for music. I gotta get out of here and do something. So that's when I went to Minneapolis and went to school for songwriting production. And yeah, basically was there for 5 years and moved to San Diego. Met actually who I was talking about earlier, my writing partner, Colby Wade, out in San Diego. And we formed a band and were there for about a year. And then we all moved. The whole band came to me one day and were like, hey, San Diego sucks. Like the music scene, there's nothing here. Like let's go to San Francisco. And I was like, no, if you guys want to move, we're moving to New York. And they're like, oh, okay. So I got them the whole band to move across the country to New York. And that band broke up 6 months later after we got to New York.
Oh, wow.
like it does. No, it's good. I mean, me and Colby stayed together, did our thing in different bands. I moved out here 9 years ago. So we're basically in New York for about 10 years. I moved out here 9 years ago. And he actually just right when the pandemic hit, there was, I think actually like a year into it, his restaurant that he worked at closed down. And his girlfriend's brother owns a cannabis farm up north here in NorCal. So they just ended up moving up there and they work from there, and he's still there now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So where can everyone find you on social media? You guys are on Twitter, I see, Instagram.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we have sort of a paltry website, which may actually disappear, but that's wovesmusic.com. We're on facebook.com/wovesmusic, Twitter @wovesmusic, Instagram @wovesmusic. We have a very Bandcamp, woves.bandcamp.com.
That's the place where if you want to buy any music or anything, you should go to.
Yeah. And then if you want to get Woves merch, because I haven't figured out how to get it onto the Bandcamp yet, but you can go to singenginerecords.com, which is Josh's label. And there's a store and it has like cool lids like the one he's wearing, and t-shirts and tanks and sweatshirts and, I don't know. Do you have a beer koozie?
No, I'm working on
country market.
I'm working on underwear and beer koozies for sure.
Thongs.
I can't fit anything on a thong. You can't fit anything on a thong.
Is there a supply and demand for that, or?
Probably. I hope so. Someone's gonna buy it.
Onesies. You got to branch into that market.
Oh my god.
So
disposable Woves diapers.
There you go.
I definitely have to check that out. I'll definitely get something. Definitely
Cool.
support you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So before we wrap up the interview, guys, do you have any announcements, anything coming out shortly you'd like to let everyone know about?
New video, April 23rd for Flesh and Bone Midnight Dancing.
Awesome.
Anything else? We will have a new EP later. We have to turn it in later this year. It probably won't come out till next year, I would imagine, with the holiday crunch.
Probably around the same time Chaos Mesa came out, probably.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else. Can you think of anything, Josh?
Just the video and the upcoming EP. There's still the last video, which is pretty awesome that people should check out.
Yeah, The Kill. That one was pretty rad, very unique and 3D animation and feast for the eyes.
Yeah, definitely. I checked that out. I like that a lot. Really cool. I think we're going to be, I'll have that on the other show as well, too, on the Fourth Sector show.
Yay.
We'll be showing that. Should be out soon this week, actually. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a great video. I love having visuals attached to the music. I would do a video for every song if I could.
Yeah. Yeah, I love audio visual stuff. I always, especially with electronic music, it seems to mesh well together. Yeah. Okay, guys. So again, thank you. I appreciate it for taking the time to be on the show.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. And after this, I'm going to play one of your songs as well, too, so everyone can hear some of your music.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Have a good one.
Running high, arms out wide, escape and ride the light. Fast to drive, feel so alive. City in the rearview, hold me closer if you're there. I don't want anyone but you. off we hide. Feel the tide roll in. Only frightening if you let it get to you. Kind of exciting. The night is ours and ours alone. And you're here with me. Midnight dancing, sweat like the united. Midnight dancing, we could be anywhere. Midnight dancing, and we'll disappear into one heart. Into one heart. Into one heart. Flesh and bone, together on our own. I'm still searching. Flesh and bone, I can't find. Together you. On our own. I'm still searching. Flesh and bone, I can't find. Together you. On our own. I'm still searching. Flesh and bone, I can't find. Together on our own. Together on our own. Together on our own. Together on our own. Midnight
Again, a big thank you to Emily and Josh for coming on the show and having a great interview. Next up is Galactic Tapes with The Void Drifter. Okay, guys, that was The Void Drifter by Galactic Tapes. And I want to say thank you for submitting that to me. I'm definitely enjoying the album. Next up, we have the Blue Book Project with The Fifth Dimension. That was definitely a fun music video. Thank you, Blue Book Project, for submitting that to me. One last video, guys. We have Coolmowee with Searching for Love.
I'll be searching for love. I come to you with open arms. Speak with me. I'm crawling through the dark on my knees. Is this working or not? I don't know. But if I can't find you,
Okay, guys, it's about that time to wrap up episode 4 of The Beat on the Street. If you would like to submit any music videos or tracks, send them to me at beatstreetsub@gmail.com. You could also find me at popartav.com with my monthly new release page, Let's Get to Know interviews, and some more tracks and music videos and announcements that go on throughout the week. Also, check out my YouTube channel for The Fourth Sector, which is my new collaboration with Ashley Anita of Forged in Neon. A lot more videos to come. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as I really do appreciate it. Any and all feedback. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you next time.